You know what's strange? Some people can spend months acting completely fine while someone is right there beside them. No panic, no longing, no dramatic appreciation. But the moment that person stops texting, moves away, emotionally detaches, or finally gives up, something inside them wakes up. Suddenly, the silence feels enormous. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you will completely change how you see people who don't miss people until they leave. You don't notice it at first. That's the weird part. Their name is still on your phone, their jacket is still on the chair, their voice still exists somewhere in your daily routine, so your brain treats them like part of the furniture of your life. You assume they'll answer, you assume they'll care, you assume there will be another conversation, another chance, another ordinary Tuesday where they're just there. Then one day, they're not. The room sounds different, the phone feels heavier. Even the smallest things, like a song they liked or a joke they would have understood, suddenly hit you in the chest, and you think, why didn't I feel this before? Psychologists would connect part of this to attachment theory, first developed by John Bowlby and later expanded through Mary Ainsworth's famous strange situation research. Attachment isn't just about romance, it's about how your nervous system learns to experience closeness, distance, safety, and loss. Some people don't feel attachment as a warm glow while someone is present. They feel it as an alarm when someone disappears. It's like having a smoke detector that only works after the fire has already spread. While the person is close, your system feels safe enough to go numb. But once they leave, the attachment system activates. That's when you replay conversations. That's when you realize how much emotional space they occupied. This is why you might not miss someone during the relationship, friendship, or daily connection, but suddenly feel devastated when access is gone. Your love wasn't absent, your alarm system was delayed. But here's where it gets interesting. Another piece of this is called psychological availability. Researchers like Roy Baumeister and Mark Leary, in their work on the need to belong, showed that human beings are deeply wired for stable social bonds. But when a bond feels stable, your brain often stops tracking it consciously. It puts that person in the category of available. That doesn't mean you don't care, it means your brain is efficient, sometimes brutally efficient. It doesn't obsess over oxygen while you're breathing normally. It only notices oxygen when you can't breathe. In the same way, you may not consciously miss someone who feels emotionally guaranteed. Their presence becomes background security. This is why you may have seemed indifferent when they were around, but once they pulled away, your brain finally registered the cost. The absence created contrast, and contrast is what makes hidden value visible. And here's the kicker. Humans are famously bad at valuing what they have while they have it. Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky's work on loss aversion found that losses tend to feel more powerful than equivalent gains. In simple terms, losing something often hurts more than having it felt good. That's why someone can care about you quietly, passively, almost lazily, until the relationship changes. Then suddenly, the loss feels sharper than the presence ever felt comforting. It's not always manipulation, it's not always coldness. Sometimes it's the brain responding more strongly to removal than possession. Think of a painting on your wall. You pass it every day without looking. But when someone takes it down, the empty space becomes impossible to ignore. This is why you can underestimate someone's importance until their absence draws a bright outline around where they used to be. But wait, it gets weirder because sometimes this pattern comes from emotional defense, not just brain efficiency. Psychologists call one version of this avoidant attachment. People with avoidant tendencies often downplay needs, minimize closeness, and convince themselves they're fine without emotional dependence. Not because they have no feelings, but because needing someone may have once felt unsafe, embarrassing, or disappointing. The dark truth is that some people don't miss others until they leave because distance finally gives them permission to feel. When the person is close, vulnerability feels threatening. When the person is gone, longing feels safer because it no longer requires direct intimacy. Healthy independence says, I love you and I still have myself. Trauma-based avoidance says, I can only feel how much you mattered once I don't have to risk being seen needing you. That difference matters, because one is emotional maturity, the other is emotional protection wearing a calm face. So if this is you, you're not broken, You're wired for depth over noise. You're not heartless just because your feelings arrive late. Sometimes your emotions don't disappear. They wait until the room is quiet enough to be heard. You may be someone whose care is slow burning, not loud. Someone who doesn't fully understand the weight of a person until life removes the option of taking them for granted. But that doesn't mean you're powerless to change the pattern. Awareness softens the delay. When you notice who brings peace to your life, who makes ordinary days easier, who becomes part of your emotional oxygen, you can honor that before absence has to teach you. Not with dramatic speeches, just with presence, a message, a softer tone. A little more honesty while the door's still open. Maybe missing someone isn't always proof that you loved them more after they left. Maybe it's proof that their presence was quietly holding something together inside you. And maybe the real lesson isn't to panic when people go, it's to learn how to recognize warmth while it's still in the room. Because sometimes the people we don't miss are the ones our nervous system has quietly trusted the most. If this hit home, subscribe. And if this resonated, you'll probably love the next video on the psychology of people who act distant when they care too much. Click to find out why some people hide their deepest feelings behind silence.